guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about on the news for the Claude users, Claude Mythos 5 and the Fable 5 access unavailable. According to Anthropic official site, the trial is statement on the US government directive to suspend the access to the Fable 5 and Mythos 5. Anthropic on site currently listed Fable and Mythos under its model. So let's look into the site. So here's the Anthropic official website you are looking at. So right now let's jump into it and let's see what happened exactly, why it is being banned, or why they just disable the Fable 5. So here we can see I have already highlighted the statement on the US government directive to suspend the access to Fable 5 and Mythos 5. So you can see the date, it's today's date, and the US government citation national security authorities that has issued an export control directive to the suspend all the access to the Fable 5, and it is being done today itself at 5:21 p.m. So the letter did not provide the specific details on its national security concern. So according to their understanding, the government believes it has been aware of the method by bypassing or jailbreaking Fable 5. It is based on the cybersecurity stuff here. So the people even they are just creating the tools and stuff based on which is not having the capabilities of working behind the cybersecurity stuff and something. So let's jump into back to the Fable 5, what happened, and according to my research and the other people researches. So I will show you what happened and what exactly Anthropic is currently working on, based on how the Fable 5 is restricted. So here I can start with the same thing, Anthropic on site currently listed the Fable and the Mythos under its model lineup, alongside Opus, Sonnet, and Heiko. So it also lists Claude Opus 4.8 as a recent release from May 28, 2026. TechCrunch reported on June 9, 2026 that Claude Fable 5 is a version of Mythos made available to the public with guardrails, and the controversy escalated quickly. Exos reported that the Trump administration moved to block foreign government companies and individuals from accessing Anthropic most advanced model Fable 5 and Mythos 5, treating them as national security sensitive system. AP reported that Anthropic took Fable 5 and Mythos 5 offline to comply with the directive, while Anthropic disagreed with the way the order was handled and call it misunderstanding. So let's jump into the more deep. So I did some of the research which is based on the how the government is looking behind the Fable 5 and stuff. So let me just tell you about more into it. So it is being a Fable 5 lockdown today. So it is happened as I have already told you 5:21 p.m. So it is being paused for all of the Claude users, and it's an amazing tool, by the way. So let's talk more into. So this is a story of the Claude Fable 5, a model that went from public excitement to government serenity, and almost intentionally. The headline is simple, Anthropic releases access to a powerful new AI model. People started testing it, and the question started rising, and then the model was taken offline. But the deeper story is much bigger. This is not just one AI company. This is about the moment frontier AI stopped looking like the normal commercial software and they started like looking a strategy, national security asset. And in this video, we are breaking down what happened, why Fable 5 became controversial, and why the government got involved, and like what this means for like for the creators, developers, startups, and like the future of AI access. Because the real story is not the not the launch, like the real story is about the lockdown. So let's jump into the a 96-hour stress test like for the AI industry. So let's look at the timeline. Like on May 28, 2026, like the Anthropic like releases the Claude Opus 4.8, which is that becomes the baseline and the current high capability and the public model people like were already comparing against. Then on June 9, there will be a report said that the Claude 5 was publicly available. That immediately created attention because Fable 5 was not being treated like a small update. It was being discussed as a public version of much more powerful model class. Then came the backlash. Users started reporting strange behavior. Some said the model was powerful, but others noticed over aggressively safety refusal. In simple terms, the model looked like extremely capable in some cases, but usually blocked in others. Then came to the intervention. The US government reportedly issues an export control directive, and soon after, Anthropic pulled both Fable 5 and Mythos 5 offline. So within roughly 4 days, like this model went from launch to backlashes to government actions to blackout. That is why I call it as a 96-hour stress test for the entire AI industry. So the model intelligence matrix is like understanding the controversy. We need to understand the model stack, and like on the left we have like the agency and the current cloud model, Opus, Sonnet, and Haiku. There are high capability models with public or global access and standard safety layers. In the middle we have Mythos 5, describe here has ear as an engine. This is like unrestricted frontier intelligence and like the layer internally restricted, not something broadly available to the public. This is then we have like Fable 5, the catalyst. Fable 5 appears to sit in the dangerous middle zone. It is supposed to bring near Mythos level capability to public users, but wrapped inside much stronger safety guardrails, and that is where the core friction begins. Like Anthropic was trying to package frontier level intelligence inside a consumer safe wrapper. That sounds greatly in theory, but in the practice it creates a hard question. Can you give the public a model that is most almost as powerful as your internet frontier system while still making it safe like enough for mass access? Fable 5 seems to be like where that experiments collided with reality. So let's talk about the safety paradox. So about the safety paradox, when guardrails break instability, this is where the story gets messy. Every serious AI company needs safety guardrails. Nobody wants a frontier model giving dangerous instructions, especially in sensitive areas like biology, cyber, or weapon. But the problem comes when the model cannot clearly distinguish between dangerous intent and basic education. According to reports, Fable 5 reused to answer some ordinary like bio questions. This like cell membranes, mitochondria like prions, or mRNA vaccines, that creates what I call the refusal zone. On one side you have like generally dangerous biological instructions, those should be blocked. On the other side, like you have basic education biology, those should be allowed. But when the safety system begins, um, when like the safety system, like I mean, it is become too aggressive, the overlap become huge. The models start treating normal learning like a treat, learning like a threat, and that become a usability problem, because it's a model cannot answer a high school biology questions. User will not say, wow, this is safe. They will say, this thing is broken. So the safety paradox is simply it if your guide rails are like too weak, so the model becomes dangerous. If your guardrails like are too strong, the model become useless. Fable 5 landed right in that tension. So like here we can talk about like the two competing realities. Now we move like from product controversy like to the political controversy. There are two competing narratives here. Like Anthropic's narrative appears to be like this was the misunderstanding, the action was abrupt, and the process was not transparent enough, and the company wanted to technically grounded explanation and intent to restore access quickly. The government's narrative is very different. Like from the government side, like the Fable 5 and the Mythos were very treated as potential national security threat. Export controls were like invoked, foreign access was blocked, and these models were treated not just software products but as sensitive strategic technology. In the middle, in the public still does not know the specific capability that triggered the shutdown. Was it cyber capability, biorisk, autonomous agent behavior, foreign access concern, model weights, jailbreak potential, or simply the overall intelligence level? That is the core mastery. The public saw the shutdown, but the public did not see the exact trigger. And in an investigation story, that missing detail is often the most important detail. So the intersection of unaligned forces. This side show the real collision Fable 5 was sitting at the intersection of four forces. First, innovation, creators, developers, and companies want stronger AI models. They want deeper reasoning, agentic workflows, better coding, better research, and better automation. So second, like safety, engineers are trying to build like refusal layers strong enough to prevent dangerous use. Third, national security. Governments are asking like what happens if this model is exceeded by the adversaries, foreign companies, or like the high risk actors. Fourth, the market dominance. AI companies are racing to prove that they are ahead. Every new model is not just a tool, it's a signal to the market, and Fable 5 got squeezed from every side right now. Users wanted capability. Shift about the safety teams like wanted to control, government wanted restrictions, the market wanted a headline. That is like why this model becomes such a lightning rod. No traffic lights, just vibes and export controls. So let's talk about the shift from the software to the strategic assets. This is the biggest shift in the whole story, like from the most of the internet era. Software access was simple. You paid for a plan, you logged in, you used tool, but frontier like AI is becoming like different, and we already control access to the strategic technologies like semiconductor, nuclear simulation tools, and advanced encryption. Now frontier AI models are like entering that same category. That means access to the intelligence may no longer being determined only by subscription tiers. It may be like gated by citizenship, location, compliance rules, company type, use case, and national security review. This is a massive change because the internet trained us to expect global access. but frontier AI may not follow the normal internet model. A model may be available to one user, blocked for another, restricted in one country, approved in another, and completely unavailable for certain entities. This is not just product management, this is geopolitics. And Fable 5 may be one of the clearest early example of the shift. So let's talk about the developer new risk stack. So for the developers and the startup, this strong has a very practical lesson. Your risk stack has changed. The old risk was platform risk. Will the API go down? Will the model be reliable? Will pricing change? This was normal software risk. But now there is a policy risk where the safety layer suddenly refuses your core use case. Will your education, medical research, or technical workflows suddenly stop working just because of the model interprets it is sensitive? And above that, there is geopolitical risk. Will government mandate your model provider to take the system offline globally overnight? This is nightmare scenario. If your startup's entire demo depends on the frontier model and that model gets pulled, you do not have a technical problem, you have an existential problem, like because your product, your pitch, your demo, and your customer workflow can disappear because of an policy decision you do not control. That is the real developer takeaway from Fable 5. Do not build your future on one model dependency. So here we can talk about the engineering around geopolitic risk. Builders like actually do. First, implementation model like routing. Do not hardcore your entire product around one frontier model. Like build an intelligent routing layer so traffic can switch if your primary model becomes unavailable. Second, maintain like fallback providers. That can like mean using lower tier models like previous generation models, open source models, or multiple providers. The point is simple. Your system should degrade gracefully instead of collapsing instantly. Third, the track compliance footprints. Document what each model does in your stack, which user access it, which countries are involved, what kind of data goes through it, what safety sensitive domains does it touch. Because it because in the next phase of the AI, your architecture is not just a technical architecture, it's a compliance architecture. The rule is simple. Never assume available today means available forever. That line should be like printed above every AI, which is available today means available forever. So like it really risk about the startup engineering desk and everything. So now let's talk about the end of our topic, which is like the death of the public frontier launch, which is this brings us to the final point. Fable 5 may prove that the era of dropping frontier models through flashy blog post is ending. The old Silicon Valley slogan was like move fast and break things, but frontier AI is forcing a new version, move fast and file compliance. That sounds less exciting, but it may be the reality. The next generation of intelligence may not arrive through a public launch, a viral demo, and open access. It may arrive quietly behind licenses, behind government testing, behind regional restrictions, and behind legal review, behind controlled API access, and maybe the public only sees the model after it has passed through the layers of the safety policy and the geopolitical approval. So, what is real Fable 5 story? It is not just that Anthropic remove a model. It is that AI capability is now powerful enough to trigger national security reactions, and that means the future of AI will not only be decided by who built the smartest model. It will be decided by who is allowed to use it, and this is the lockdown, and this is maybe only the beginning according to the Anthropic official site. Thank you.
This is Abhishek Yadav signing off from Curio Mind Show. Stay curious. Until next time, keep observing, keep interacting, and keep discovering. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching.